everyone, my name is Jenna, but you guys can call me Jen, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another book haul. Guys, I have over 40 books around me, and I didn't even properly count. I just know from my pages in my bullet journals that I keep. Yes, we're diving into 2 bullet journals for this haul, because this bullet journal covers the first half of 2021, and this one is for the second half. And, well, in this first bullet journal, I reached 63 hauled books, and I had hauled up to like 27 originally, so it's about 40, we're gonna say. So I'm gonna try and do it in the order that I actually hauled them in. Let's just dive into this, guys. Alright, so the first 3 right off the bat, we're gonna go off with these novellas, and because I ordered them all in the same order, so they all came in at once. So we have To Be Taught If Fortunate by Becky Chambers, and we also have The Empress of Salt and Fortune by Niveau, and we also have Black God's Drums by Pete J. Lee Clark. I have read 2 of these. I have yet to read this one, but that's okay because it's on my shelves to read and I'm excited to get to it because I do enjoy P.J. Lee Clark's work. I've listened to one of his other novellas and it was great. So I'm excited to listen to this one as well and read this one. But the other 2 are fantastic. So Becky Chambers, this one is a like kind of existential space crew. It's not part of the same world as her Wayfarers books are in, but it is still like that human touch in this really super expansive world. And it was great. I gave this one 4 stars. And The Empress of Salt and Fortune I need to reread because I listened to it and this feels like the kind of fantasy that you need to read with your eyes to really understand it all. Like, I don't really remember a whole lot about it, so I ended up giving this one I think 3.5 or 3 stars, but I will be rereading it one day because I feel like I need to actually read it with my eyes. These were the first 3 that I hauled, or numbers 28, 29, and 30 that I hauled this year. So the next chunk of books were all from the same order. Let's go through this one by one, I guess. So I got Sabriel by Garth Nix. This one I have also read. I read it recently, and this one is kind of a old school fantasy that follows a girl who's also like a necromancer, and one day her father, who is like the necromancer and he's like very important, he's called the Abhorsen, I think that's what he's called. He's like a really special guy who's like needed to keep dead things dead in this world, which is really cool. He goes missing one day and she has to go on this like quest to save him and does all this kind of stuff, and it was really interesting. I really enjoyed the world and I really enjoyed the magic system. But yeah, I think I gave this 3.5 stars. Anyways, part of that same order, I have the only one out of these 4 that I have read is The Emperor's Blades by Brian Staveley. This was a very fun traditional fantasy that had like the 3 perspectives, 2 really main ones and 1 third one that was like a sister, and it's all a family of these kids of an emperor who is assassinated at the beginning of this book, and they're all in different places. So one of them, who is the emperor to be, is at a monastery getting like training in that. So he has no idea that his father has been murdered, and he's like going through his trials there. And then we have another son who is basically training to be this awesome like fighter assassin on the back of a bird. They're called kestrels, and he's also going through his trials to become a full-fledged kestrel. He knows that his father was assassinated, and there's also been attempts on his life because he's actually like nearby in the city, and it's really good. And then also follows the daughter who's living in the like castle emperor place. She's in the thick of it in this investigation. So I really enjoyed this. I can't remember exactly what I rated it, but it was like a 4 star because it was great, and I can't wait to read the rest of this series. Brian Staveley writes a really good fantasy book. And then the next 3 I have not read. So we have For the Killing of Kings by Howard Andrew Jones, another fantasy book that I really thought looked cool. We have Deal with the Devil, which is by Kit Rocha, which is by 2 authors. It's like a pseudonym for the author duo Donna Heron and Bree Bridges. But this is like mercenary librarians. That's what it says right here. It's Meet the Mercenary Librarians. So that's why I picked it up, that specifically. And then we have The Bard's Blade by Brian D. Anderson, which I've heard from Holly on here. She's a really big fantasy booktuber. She really liked it. So I was like, okay, when I saw it, I was like, yeah, I'm picking that up. So that's why I got that. The next one that I hauled was actually the first that I've hauled, and then I've also subsequently hauled the rest of the series. So I have the trilogy of the Books of Beginning, which is a middle grade trilogy that I absolutely adore the first book of, and I need to get to these two. They are the Emerald Atlas, the Fire Chronicle, and the Black Reckoning. So this is a kind of a, I don't want to say typical old school middle grade, but it's like a middle grade young adult. So it's a slightly older middle grade or a younger young adult, if you want to call it that, that follows these three orphaned children. And in the first book, there's like time travel with an old, like a book that they find that allows them to go back in time and like figure out this mystery back in time. It's fantastic, and I love these, and I cannot wait to read the rest of them. So then I hauled these three all in the same day because this is what I do. I go to bookstores and buy multiple books at the same time. I hauled the Wolf of Oren Yarrow, which I have also hauled the Icazar Falcon since then, which is the second one in this trilogy. I absolutely adore this one, as you guys will know, and I am still making my way through this one. I'm currently finding it really hard to read high fantasy. For some reason, it just makes me want to be in a slump. So I've been avoiding this because of that, but I'm hoping to get this finished soon and then dive into the third one, which I do not own, but I've hauled both of these. And then in that same day that I hauled Wolf of Oren Yarrow, I hauled these two, which I have yet to read. I hauled The Unbroken by C.L. Clarke, as well as The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne. These two I'm ridiculously excited about. This is part of the Sapphic trifecta of Tor, like Tor's orbits. I don't even know that the Sapphic trifecta is a thing on the internet right now. And so I'm planning on doing a reading vlog for this one and the two others, because I do have The Jasmine Throne, which I'm going to haul later, and then I have one on its way to me right now because it's being released on the 20th of July, and I will be reading all three of the Sapphic trifecta for that video, but very excited. This is a unmissable epic fantasy debut of uprising, espionage, and empire, so love that. And Shadow of the Gods is John Gwynne, and I've never read a John Gwynne, but because this has a big old dragon on the front, I was like, yeah, I have to. It's like dragon and Vikings and stuff, so cannot wait to read those two. The next one that I hauled was Realmbreaker by Victoria Aveyard. This was a pre-order that came in, and I still have yet to read it. I'm so excited to though, because I love Victoria Aveyard's writing. I've read the first of her Red Queen books and it just read so easily. I loved it. So I'm very excited about this because this, I've heard for a lot of people, is really high fantasy-esque for like YA, which I am so into. So very ready to dive into this and just devour it. And then when I was at a thrift store, I actually hauled 3 books, and 2 of them are part of the Wheel of Time. They are the second and the third Wheel of Time books because I am planning on reading the first one at some point, which I have on my shelves. And then I have The Sword in the Stone by T.H. White, which is a classic. So these are going on to my TBR. Then I actually won a giveaway on Instagram that was hosted by this author, Marthe Josselin. If you guys remember, last Christmas I did a reading vlog for the first 2 Aggie Morton books, and I won a giveaway on her Instagram, and I won the paperback version of Aggie Morton, which is really, really fun. I really enjoyed this middle grade, so now I have the paperback version of it as well, which is very fun. Very, very fun. The next one that I hauled is Blackwater Sister by Zen Cho. This one I have also read already. I enjoyed it. It was a very interesting kind of twist on like urban fantasy. So it's set in Malaysia. We have Jess, our main character, and she's being haunted by her grandma's ghost. That's basically it. It's fun. It's interesting. And I enjoyed it when I read it. The next ones that I have here, I bought all at the same time. I went to the store and bought all of these. So I have The Ones We're Meant to Find by Joan He. This I have yet to read, but this is a sci-fi, I believe, with like 2 sisters. Not entirely sure, but I also just got it for the cover because that's such a beautiful cover. And then I also have the first 2 Vox Machina Origins graphic novels. I have read the first one. I have yet to read the second one, but it is on my shelves, and I love these very much because you guys know, if you've been following my vlogs and everything, I talk about Critical Role, Vox Machina, Mighty Nine, and now Exandria Unlimited so much. So I have those, and I've been meaning to get those graphic novels for so long, so I finally did, and I'm really glad I did because I really enjoyed the first one. I think I gave it like 4.5 stars. It was very, very good, and I usually don't love graphic novels because I find the stories in them paced funny or too short and you don't get a lot of character. These were balanced really well, and I felt that the characters really reflected what the characters are in the show, so very cool, very cool. Then I hauled the last 2 Trials of Apollo books in hardcover. I decided, because you guys know I've been going through a reread of the entire Rick Riordan works of the Percy Jackson and then the Heroes of Olympus. After the Heroes of Olympus, I am diving into the Trials of Apollo. I've only read the first book, book before, so I'm going to reread that one and then read the rest of the series for the first time, which I'm so excited about. So I needed the 4th and the 5th on my shelves so I could do that. So I hauled them and I'm very excited to get to them. So excited to get to them, you guys. Y'all know how much I love Rick Riordan, so that's why. And on that same day, I actually picked up The Jasmine Throne as well, which is one of the Sapphic Trifecta books that I was talking about earlier in this video, and I'm very excited to have this on my shelves. I am so pumped. So pumped. So this one sounds, out of the 3, the most up my alley, I think, because the next one, which is coming to me, it's been pitched as Mulan meets the Song of Achilles, which sounds absolutely heartbreaking, but I'm so ready for it. This one sounds like a typical fantasy that I'm very up for. Like, we have a trapped princess who's trapped by her brother, and there's like, she has to team up with her maidservant Priya, and there's like wild magic and uprisings and, you know, typical high fantasy stuff going on politically and stuff. Very excited about this, and I cannot wait to read it in that reading vlog that I'm going to be doing very soon. Oh shoot, I forgot to mention one a lot earlier. I got an ARC from HarperCollins. It is The Woman with the Blue Star by Pam Jenoff. I have yet to read this, but I'm intrigued by it, and if I ever do like a massive, like, I'm going to be reading all these historical books type of thing, this will probably be included because it is World War II story. So forgot to mention that one. I then got given by my friend 2 books because she was doing like a clear out because she is moving apartments and she wanted to get rid of some of her books, and so I was like, yeah, I'll pick up some of them. And so I picked The Stationery Shop by Marjan Kamali, as well as Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. And I don't know why I picked this one up specifically. I think it's because it's an edition that matches a few of my other editions on my shelves, and I was like, why not? I don't actually own Crime and Punishment, might as well. So I picked this one up and I'm excited to read it. Maybe, I don't know, classics are always interesting. And then The Stationery Shop, this cover is just stunning, and I've heard recently a few things about it that were like good. People really like it, so it's gonna be a book that I will explore when I explore more literary fiction on my shelves, because that is one of my genres that I don't read a whole lot, so it'll be sitting there waiting for me. I also hauled the second book in the Invisible Library series. I read the first book in my video that I did last year where I was searching for books like The Starless Sea, and I really enjoyed the first one. It's very much not like The Starless Sea. The only thing that is like The Starless Sea is the fact that there's a library that's like in between reality, and this one is the second book in that series, and it's just chaos incarnate, the first book, so I'm excited to see where it goes in the second. But as soon as I saw this, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to pick up the second one because I want to see where this goes. I want to see how crazy it can get, because the last one we had like mechanical alligator creatures and like not time travel but like alternate universe travel, which was very fun. So excited to get to that one. The next one I picked up because I saw on somebody's Instagram who is Canadian like myself, they had the hardcover of this book, which I've only seen the softcover in stores. So I was like, where do you get the hardcover? Because the hardcover is so pretty, and it's like a special like first printing is the only one that's released like this. And she was like, it's just on Amazon, like you get the hardcover on Amazon. I got The Nature of Wishes by Rachel Griffin, and I specifically, because also the story sounds pretty cool. It's like for centuries witches have maintained the climate, their power peaking in the season of their birth, but their control is faltering as the atmosphere becomes more erratic. All hope lies with Clara, whose rare magic is tied to every season. So it's like elemental magic, but this is the reason I got it. This hard cover, the boards, they're so pretty. They're like, guys, yeah, that is why. This is not a cover buy, this is a board buy, I guess you could say. And the story sounds pretty cool, and I look forward to reading it this fall because that is witchy season for me. So very excited to read this one. All right, the next one was another pre-order, and that was 6 Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. I have also already read this one. This dust jacket is also gorgeous. The 2021 cover game is incredible. But yes, I have also read this one. This is the prequel to Elizabeth Lim's Spin the Dawn series, and I am not really interested in the Spin the Dawn series, and I've heard kind of like negative reviews, but this one really appealed to me and it was really good. I think I ended up giving this one 4 stars. It's like a fairy tale but feels new in a way, and I really liked the characters, and I think everybody should read it. I think it's pretty great. Right, then I picked up The Road Trip by Beth O'Leary, who is the author of The Flat Share, which was my favorite book in 2019, and this I am very excited about. I love me a road road trip romance, and this has to deal with like two exes who are like forced on this road trip together. I am so ready to read this and enjoy it. And I feel like it's gonna be like a good summer reread, so I'm gonna be picking it up very soon. I believe the last 3 books here, okay, and then I have a few to talk about after that, but the next one was also a pre-order, and it's This Poison Heart by Kaylin Bayron, and this is the author who wrote the Cinderella is Dead book that I've heard pretty good things about. People seem to enjoy it, but this one is Greek mythology based. And this cover is like, I think, in my running for my favorite cover of 2021. Like, there have been some really good covers this year, like Six Crimson Cranes is up there, and Shadow of the Gods as well. But like, this one's just next level. Like, the camera does no justice to it. It is just beautiful in person. These colors are stunning. But yes, it is, as I said, Greek mythology, and I think it's like a urban fantasy type of situation, so I am ready to love this book so much. I was at the thrift store this past weekend and I picked up 2 books. I picked up a little baby copy of Dune, which is one of the biggest sci-fi books ever, and I figured I might as well give it a try because one of my friends has read it and liked it, one of my friends is currently trying to read it, and I figured might as well jump on that bandwagon. As soon as I saw this little baby copy, I was like, yeah, I might as well. It's little. Dune! And then I picked up this monster, which is The Mists of Avalon by Marion Zimmer Bradley, which is a telling of like the women behind the Arthurian, like King Arthur's Round Table, essentially, which I am so excited to read. You guys know, if you've been around for a while, you know how much I love King Arthur retellings. So when we have like a 900-page fantasy book about the women behind King Arthur's throne. Hell yes, I'm gonna jump on this. So one day. And also this paperback is impeccable. I love me a floppy paperback. I love it so much. We got 4 books left to talk about, and those 4 books are all going to be talked about at once because y'all know, if you've been watching my vlogs, I have mentioned recently that I have purchased the Nerdy Ink Percy Jackson covers. They're like hardbacks that they do. They've done like the ACOTAR covers and the Throne of Glass covers really recently, and they did like a whole new one for the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings, and their covers are just so beautiful. So when I saw the Percy Jackson ones, I could not help myself, so I got them. But I also love the covers that I have on my hardcover Percy Jackson books, so I had to go buy more hardcover Percy Jackson books, which is very hard to do because they are all used and they are all like not available in store because Percy Jacksons have just been paperback releases for a long time. So I have the first 4 books in hardcover with me. I have yet to take off the cover of the Battle of the Labyrinth simply because this was the nicest hardcover that came in. The first one actually came in without a hardcover, or a dust jacket, which is fine because I don't need one. This Sea of Monsters was a hot mess when it came in, so I immediately got rid of it. And then the Titan's Curse actually had a library board taped to it, so when I ripped off the tape, that happened and it wrecked the board, which is fine. But it's like one of the inside boards have been like cut away and it's like a withdraw. So if you guys want to order off of Abe Books, which is where I got these, that is my like Hail Mary used book place. I buy my used books on them all the time. Make sure you're getting the right ISBN that you need because I have bought books before that the picture wasn't the actual ISBN. Actually, all of these were like that because I thought I was getting the newer edition. I ordered these specifically because I thought they were like the newer hardback ones, not the traditional ones, but every single one that's come in has been the traditional first editions. And so when you're ordering on Abe Books, make sure you're following the right ISBN. It doesn't matter to me because I am taking these hardbacks off and I'm putting the Nerdy Ink ones on, and like the dimensions are the same for these books to the hardcover books that I thought I was getting, but just so you know. But yeah, I have the 5th one on its way to me, and then I also have dust jackets on their way to me as well. So when that happens, you guys will be seeing brand new Nerdy Ink covers on my channel, which I'm very excited about. I do also have an order coming in currently. As I said, I have the pre-order of the 3rd Tor Sapphic Trifecta book, which is this something to do with a sun. She Becomes the Sun or something by Shelley Parker Chan. And I also have another order of books. One of them is my friend's pick for book club for next month, and one is a book that I've been meaning to pick up and read. So I have 3 more coming there, and then I have the 5th Percy Jackson book. So I have 4 more on their way to me. Let me know down below if you have read any of these and if you've liked them, or if you have any of these on your shelves that you're excited to read as well. I was going to count how many I had read out of all of these. So I have read 10 of the books that I've hauled. Well, 14 because of the Percy Jackson ones. And I just realized I forgot to mention one because it's sitting over there, and it's called Skybreaker by Kenneth Opel. I picked it up at one of the free libraries in my neighborhood, and it is actually a sequel to Airborne, which I read last month and enjoyed. So picked up Skybreaker. That's another one that I have yet to read. But I think there's 10 on this list that I have read besides the Percy Jackson books, which is not a lot because I have hauled 42 books since my last haul. So 10 of those, or 14 of those I have read. 42 books that have to fit on my shelf somewhere. But my friends, that is it. That is all. That has been my haul. My second haul of 2021. Make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, because my corner of the book internet is pretty fun. You just should. I say so. Anyways, friends, I will catch you in another video soon. Stay kind and keep on reading.